Hello everyone, it's Julie from Camelia Crafts Designs. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to show you how to sew in the signatures to a hardcover junk journal. It's going to be 5 signatures I'm sewing in. It's roughly an A5 journal. It is my Alice one I'm doing, but this will be the same for any journal you wanted to do. Now I do it using a template. This is a template that I've done for a 3 signature one, but the template we're going to make today is exactly the same, but there's going to be another 2 signatures. 2 signatures, 5. So I'm going to start. I'll just move my signatures to one side. I'll grab the piece of card that I'm going to use. Now I like, this is like 160 GSM card. It's sturdy, but it's not too thick to bend. Right, I like to make my template the same height as my pages. I find it much easier to make sure my pages are in the centre of my book that way. So let's measure our signatures. We know how, if you've been following the Alice journal, you know the size of the signatures, but for anyone who's just watching this as an example, and our signatures are 8 inches high, which is just short of 20.5 centimetres. So I'm going to cut this down to 8 inches. I'm doing it again, putting H's on where they don't belong. I'm looking for my chopper. It's here. I'm all organised. No, I need my big chopper. Don't know why I got a little one out. Semi-organised. Yeah, that's me all over that. Semi-organised. So, don't know if you can even see that. I've had to move that far back. I can't see my mirror. So I'm going to cut this down to 8 inches. And I'm going to make it the width of my signature. So I will put the big chopper away because we'll only need the little one for that. I need an in-between chopper, I do 8 inches quite often, so I don't really need one that's going to go up to 12, but I need one that's bigger than 6. So Tim Holtz, if you're listening, an 8-inch chopper would be ideal. So I'll just grab my little handy ruler. So right, if you measure the outside of your signature, of your book, you're going to get a bigger measurement to the inside. You just are. The outside measures 2.5. The inside's probably going to measure somewhere nearer 2, and it's a little bit under that. So what I suggest you do is get your piece of paper, lift one side up, pop it in like that. Hold it. Can you see I've just lifted that up and it's creased? I've put a mark there where the crease is, and then I'm going to come in again with my chopper and I'm going to cut it there. So I've not actually measured it. It's just short of 2.5 inches. It's because we've got all the fabric on the inside. Now I'm going to see whether it will fit nicely. No. Does it? No. So I'm going to take a smidgen off it. So if you're watching Alice, I hope you've managed to find a ruler with a smidgen size on. One of our subscribers, she said she needs a ruler that measures smidgens. Actually, my ruler does measure. It measures up to 30. I don't know if it's got a 32th of an inch. Is that even a thing? A 32th? 32nd of an inch? A 32nd of an inch doesn't sound right, does it? So I just keep nibbling mine down. I'd rather do that than have one that's 2. Now I'm guessing we've got a little bit of bulk there. That's why it's just clumping up at this end. So to eliminate that, I'm going to go back in on my Yeah, whee. Do you know, by doing that, it's allowed me to see that a bit better as well. And I'll try that again now. That should fit perfectly. It fits perfectly enough. Yeah, it's only a teeny tiny bit. Yeah, that's good enough for me. So what I need to do now is measure where I want my holes. So I'm going to use my centre ruler for this. If you don't have a centre ruler, you're going to have to struggle and measure it and find out what centre is. So it measures 2 and 7/8. It is exactly 2 and 7/8. So halfway would be 1 and 3.5/8. So that would be 1 and 7/16. Yeah, 1 and 7/16. Yeah, but I'm going to use my centre ruler because I've got one. If you're doing anything like that, I would recommend a centering ruler. They're so good. I'm also using the grids on my mat here to help me along. Right. So I just want to mark where the centre is. I'm not going to put any lines on yet. I'm just going to put a few dots up and down where the centre is. Then I move it as I'm about to mark it. That's it. I'll do one more. You could go mad and do a lot more, but one more will do. Now, you probably can't even see those dots. I can. I'm going to put my pencil on the first dot, and then I'm going to line the ruler up with the other dots, and then I'm going to draw a line. You can see that now. That is the centre. That's the line on which my centre signature is going to go. Now I'm then going to go across, because we've got 5 signatures and we're working in inches. So what have we got here? We've got, I think it might be just perfect if I do my signatures at 1/4 inch. Or would it? If I did my signatures at 1/4 inch, the last one would be very, very close to the cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my signatures at a 16th under. Yeah. So I'm going to do that at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8/16. I'm not adding it right well today. And then the next one at 8/16. And then we've got more room there. So I'm going to go 8/16 along again. I've said 8/16, I meant 7/16. 7/16, woman. 7/16 and 7/16 again. Then I'm going to come further down and do exactly the same. 7/16. So it's basically 1/16 under the 1/4 mark, and your next one is going to be 2/16 under the 1/4 mark. I'm sorry that there is a lot of measuring if you want your signatures even. If you don't want your signatures even, you can just come in and guess it. As long as all your lines are the same distance apart, doesn't matter if some signatures are closer than others. I just like the look of them all being lined up perfectly. That's my OCD coming out. I wish I'd OCD with everything, I don't. Right, I've just done 3 marks there. Then I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to line all these up and draw a line. If I'm doing a journal and I know it's going to be perfectly 1/4 of an inch all the time. I'll even make this template out of some checked graph paper. That's quite easy then. Right, so they're all lined up hunky-dory. So now I've got to decide where the centre of this signature is, this template is. I'm not even going to bother measuring it. I'm going to come in and I'm going to fold it. I'm going to be doing 3/0 pamphlet stitch. Yeah, so I'm going to fold it there, and I'm going to come in again and fold it about there. And that eliminates having to measure where to put your holes. Now I've creased it, I'll come in and draw a line. Oh, use that side of ruler, it's better, woman. You'll find these are nice and even because we just folded it. Yeah, we folded it in half there, then by folding it again, that's the same distance from the centre as that. Right, so all these places where these intersect is where we're going to make holes to sew in our signatures. Yeah, so I'm not going to come in and draw on those, it's not necessary. I think you can see those enough. Let me just check the light on this video. It's gone, oh, it's not too dark, we can see. The light outside is, it's one of those days where we've got big black clouds and then bright sun. And yeah, I really need to get a blind for my craft room to counteract that. So there's our template. Right, what we're going to do next is start putting some holes in this. Oh, pop some holes in. Right, to decide where to put my template, I'm going to lift those up slightly, just to make sure it's placed. Right, then I'm going to have a look, see whether it's the same distance from the top as the bottom. I think it needs to be a bit nearer the top there. I'm not measuring it, I'm eyeballing it. That looks good. That looks good. Then I'm going to come in with my awl. And I'm going to start to make some holes. Before I do make some holes, I'm going to grab what I call a stabby book. It's my stabby book. It's the same as my glue book. And I'm going to pop it underneath there, so that when I start punching holes, I'm not going to put huge holes in my mat. So, let me... I want to look sideways to see if I'm happy. I think we need a smidgen. No, I'm happy with that. If it's a smidgen near at the bottom than the top, I'm happy. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my big bulldog clips and I'm going to hold this template in place so that it doesn't move while I'm stabbing these holes. There we go. Right, this is where you've got to be brave. Just go for it. I've just remembered, I normally use my other brad awl for this. I've got two brad awls. One I tend to use for my signatures, and this one, it's a bit thick. I tend to use it for here. It's a bit thicker, and I find it better for the hardback books. Yes, I'm going to be very quiet while I do this. So it's not something you want to mess up. Although if you do mess it up, the world is not going to end. Just cover what holes up you've got with fabric and have another go. You could even change to a different type of binding. I've done the elastic binding before. That's good if you want to replace the signatures at any point. Right, we've now got 15 holes in our book. Let's have a look at the other side. Ta-da! 15 holes. Now what I'm going to do, and I learnt this trick from Izzy B. Oh, do you know one thing I didn't do on my template? I'm going to write top there. There we go. That's the top. That is the top of the book as well. With some arrows, that's going to get covered up. Right, yeah. I'm then going to go back through from the outside just because it makes the holes look neater than on the outside of the book. No, it just does. There's no other reason for it than it just does. Yeah, I got over the aged look as well, and I quite like it now. I mean, these papers have got a vintage look to them, haven't they? So, yeah. And I've decided I'm going to put a big dangle on attached with a paperclip at the top. I don't want to put a ring through. If I were going to put a ring through, I should have done it before I put the fabric on the inside anyway, but I don't want to do that. It's such a big book, I don't want anything permanent on the spine that's going to interfere with it when you've got it open using it. Right, that's all our holes in the book. You can't see this, but I can see daylight through those holes now, so I know they're all through properly. Right, next thing we need to do, look at that. God, I went a fair way through there. I do like to use some force. We need to do the exact same thing with our signatures. So what I'm going to do with this template is I'm going to fold it along that crease. And I'm going to grab my little scoreboard. I'm really rubbish at folding things like that, so I'm just going to grab my scoreboard and my bone folder, and it does work. Yeah, I'll just fold that along the middle, because we're then going to use those same holes to punch the holes in our signatures. I'm not going to use my fancy scoreboard for this, and I'm not going to punch the holes in all my signatures at once. If you've made an error, it's better to find that out after one signature than 5. Also, I don't have enough clips, and I always start off with my centre signature, which is my flowery one. So let's make sure. Now I use this template and I quickly go through. I don't need that yet. I quickly go through the signature. Oh, one of my corners came off. What do you like, corner? You need an extra squeeze. I quickly go through the signature to make sure that everything's going to have... There's not many small pages in this. In fact, I don't think there's hardly any. There's just a couple of envelopes. The doilies, yeah, that's going to be fine. Right, where we're going to place this. We don't want a hole coming just right on the edge. So I think I want that nearer the top, because we've got a lot of pockets at the bottom. So if I put that near at top, can you see the holes are going to be more comfortable? So that's that. I've got a bag in this one as well. That's fine. And I think that's it. Yeah, everything else is full pages. So I like to grab my metal ruler just to do that. Check the top and the bottom. Make sure it's all tucked in. I'm not a fan of clipping everything, me. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it. Let's see, I've done that now and it's not up to scratch. I know some people don't even bother clipping it at all, they just do it. I think I might be better suited to just doing it. That's better. So I'm going to use my template. See, I don't know, I don't like that. I don't like the clips. I said this in a video once before. For me, using the clips just makes everything go off on a wonk. So I'm going to line my template up. And then I'm just going to go for it. Right, a method that I've seen a lot of people use is this. They use a big chunky book like this. Can you see? So I'm going to go for it. I'm also going to have to turn it sideways, people, to see if it's lined up. Right, and I'm going to use my thin awl. And I'm going to go through those same 3 holes. 1, 2, and 3. That's relatively easy without clips. I really don't like the clips. I'm going to put 1 on now there. Now I've got the holes in. Just to hold it. Right, bring my book cover back. I'm going to grab some twine and an appropriate needle. That's my favourite book binding needle. I did have one with slightly blunter, but it seems to have gone astray. I don't know where needles go. If anyone knows, answers on a postcard, please. They run off with keys. Oh, in fact, someone wrote a book, and I don't even know how to pronounce her name, embarrassingly enough. Cecilia Ahern, I think it is. She's an Irish actress. It's the same lady who wrote P.S. I Love You. I do 3 lengths of the book as well in thread. I know I use too much, but I'd rather use too much than not enough. Yeah, and it were a book about, I can't remember what it were called, but it were about where all lost things end up. Keys, people, socks, everything like that. Right, now's the time to decide if you want your threads tied on the inside of the book or the outside of the book. I'm going to have mine tied on the inside, so I need to start sewing from the inside. So I'm going to go through my centre hole, and then I need to go through the centre hole here. This black is not good to work with, it's very hard to see. Oh. There we go. I'm going to tuck that tail under that clip so I don't make it go all the way through. Right, so I've gone in the centre, out of the centre on the book. I'm going to go in through the centre top Now on your first signature, on your first time you're going through the back of the book, you can do it like this. Someone's just delivered something. I wonder what that were. I am expecting them to come and service my gas boiler, but yeah, that's been ongoing since Easter. Yeah, they've been coming every week since Easter, and they've not arrived. Right, this again, this is, I don't have, because I have dry hands as well. It's not that I don't have the strength, I don't have the grip in my fingers, and so I use my acrylic pliers. Yes, a couple of subscribers asked me about these and what they were. The tips are acrylic. I saw, again, Izzy B from Izzy B's Craft Creations used these a few years ago, and I thought, oh, I need those, so I got some. There were the ones I used for putting the corners on my book corners. Yeah, and they're brilliant for this. I got mine off Amazon. I checked up on this exact pair. They're like over £10 at the moment. There's no way I would have paid £10 for these pliers. I just know I wouldn't. I've got it in my mind they were about £5, £6. There are other brands available, but I was saying that knowing what I know now, I'd have probably just got an ordinary set of pliers and wrapped some fabric around them, because these can still be a little bit slippery. Oh, they're grabbing needle good. Right, I'm going to move my head out of the way so I don't want to take an eye out. There you go. That's pulled it through. But yeah, they're a lifesaver for me. I don't know if you have really dry skin. Sometimes the choice is between having greasy skin and very smooth skin. Right. I'm now going to go in. No, I'm not. I'm going to go in through the bottom. I do know how to do a pamphlet stitch. There you go. And we want to get the centre hole again. There we go. And back to the outside of the book. Starting to look good. I'm going to unclip that from... I'm going to unclip everything from that clip now. It's starting to annoy me. Right, we then need to go back in this centre hole. And we need to try not to go through the cord, but if we do, the world's not going to end. Now, I don't even know if I can do this in such a way that will show you what I'm doing and be able to actually do it. I'll try. So what I tend to do is try and pull that to one side. A lot of people say it does help this if there's not too sharp a point on your needle, which I'm only left with really sharp pointy needles at the minute, so it's not the best. I don't think I've caught the thread. Now I'm going to pull that, pull it down away while pointing my needle up. I'm even on camera. I do keep sliding out of shot, don't I? And I won't pretend this is a quick process, and I won't pretend I'm quick at doing it. No, this doesn't want to go through. Sometimes you just have to go through each page one at a time, and this is one of them times. I don't know why it happens. I think probably because I've used my fine brad-awl. It's put very small holes in. But it's one of them things where end justifies means. Maybe if I'd still left my clip on, I wouldn't have had this problem. I think I took my clip off a bit too early, didn't I? So we just need to go through the last couple of pages, and we're there. I really can't see because that bag's so small. like I'm stabbing in the dark. This just is not happening. Right, I'm going to have to come all the way through with my thread. At least, like I was channel, you know how to go on if things don't go perfect. It's not going to have any detriment to the finish, this. It's just not your quickest way to crack on with doing it, is it? Yeah, that little minxy bag, I couldn't move it out of the way to see where I were trying to thread the needle. It just wasn't happening for me. There we go. And I want to come up on the opposite side to where the other thread is. That's it. I'm going to take my needle off now and try not to lose it. I always like to check there to make sure we've got no loops, and there. Also check the outside of the book. Yeah, that's looking good. Then just tighten it a little bit. And come in and tie the knot. Yeah, that's spot on, that is. And for now I'm going to tie a bow. I may change that to a knot and cut it off later, but I don't tend to in my journals. I do like the bows. When I do the signatures with the envelopes in the middle, that will be slightly different. Right, there you go. So I'm just going to turn this back the right way around. Right, here is where you find out if you lined your template up correctly at the start. If you did, your pages are going to be, it's going to be nice and even. If you didn't, you're going to have trouble. Your book could be off centre. Now for some reason, somewhere that is loose. Now this could be an issue with where I have gone through a couple of pages at a time, and I need to find it and sort it out. Yeah, it's not the outside. Somewhere in that signature there's a loop, so I need to undo this, and I need to tighten this knot. So reason 26, like why I like to do one knot to start off with, because then if you have any trouble like this, look how easy that was. That's much better now. There was a little bit of slack somewhere, still don't know where, but we've now sorted it out. So one knot and a bow. There we go. I'm just going to trim that end off because it's a bit longer. So we've got our centre signature in now. Right, the next signature I'm going to do is this one. Yeah, I'm just going to work this one a little bit. Oh, look, it's the one with the lovely pockets. Yeah, I like that one. So it is this one that is going to go there. Right, this one has one of these pocket. Oh, I didn't finish making the pocket, did I? Right, I'm going to pause for 2 ticks because you've seen me make this pocket. I'll link the video down below where I make the pocket if you want to know, because I'm not going to show the pocket a second time. So 2 ticks while I finish off this pocket. And I'm back. I've had a quick break and finished making this policy envelope. If you didn't see the video where I made one, I have showed you how I make these policy envelopes in a way that will allow you to use them as the centre of a signature. And yeah, fasten them up afterwards, yeah? So you've got a policy envelope in the centre. Right, what I'm going to do with it now is just, I've got some low tack tape, and I'm just going to use a little bit of that low tack tape to tack this down so that it doesn't get in my way while I'm sewing this signature in. So I'm just going to pop a bit of it there across the button and onto there, yeah? Because I'm going to sew that in as though that were a page. So that's my signature, that's the centre, yeah? So it will eventually be a policy envelope in the centre. So I've done 2 of these, the second and the 4th signatures have got policy envelopes. Right, where's my template? There it is. So the envelope is slightly shorter than the, yeah, turn that sideways when we're doing it sideways, aren't we? Are we in short? Yeah. That's it. As centred as I can get it. Got my template, that's the top, lining it with the top of my signature. Then I'm going to come in and stab. Stabby. Stabby. I don't know why I have to say that. Probably because I'm crazy. I'm going to pop a clip on now after I've done the stabbing. The clip would have actually kept that out away because that tape didn't hold in end, did it? Hey ho, it was worth a try. Had I not put it over the button and just put it there, it would have worked, she says, sounding all confident. It normally does. Right, bring the book back in. So this is signature number 2, so it's going there. I've already threaded my needle. So we're going to do exactly the same again, in through the centre. I should say out, really. Same again there. And I've pulled it as far as I want. A bit less, I think. I've put the clip on this back side this time, it's better. Clip that under there so it's out of your way. Then you can go back in the top or the bottom, doesn't really matter. I'm going to do the top. I'm going to have to turn this upside down because I'm right-handed, people. So the top has now become the bottom. Just ignore me. Back in there. That's it. Oh, I did that without the help of my pliers this time. All the way across into that one. I do end up turning my book a lot of times, but rather that than get it wrong. I'm sorry if I'm making you dizzy. That's it. Now that's the tricky one. Well, you've got to go back in the middle. I'm not taking the clip off this time, see whether it makes it any easier. Got to go back in the middle and not go through the thread if you can help it. And you're coming back. Oh, that's too easy, that. Something's gone wrong there. That cannot be that easy. Talk about pessimistic. What happened? What went wrong? Well, they all seem good. No loops anywhere. no loops on the back. I always check, 'cause it's gutting if you do that and then you can't get your little knot open in the middle. I'll just have a gentle tug either way. And on this one, I'm going to tie it once, check that everything's fine, and then I'm going to tie it again and cut it off. Yeah, everything's fine. I'll put another knot, then I'm going to cut it. I still like to leave a little bit, just in case. Right, I'll put this the right way around now. And that is then going to become a policy envelope-ish. There we go. And that's the centre of your signature. So, I'm not going to glue it up now, but that will be glued. Then I'll put my string on. I've not decided what string I want. I think I want some black and white baker's twine, I think that'll go lovely with this journal. I do have some, but I don't know where. So, yeah, that's the centre signature. I do love that look of an envelope in centre. This is just so good. Right, I'm going to go away, because you don't want to see me do, I'm sure you don't want to see me do 5 signatures. It's going to take an awfully long time. So, you've seen me do the middle, you've seen me do this one next to the middle, so I'm going to go away and I'm going to do that one and the back one, then I'll come back and show doing the front one. So, I'm going to pause again. And I'm back with the last signature. Right, I've gone ahead and put the back signature in and the next to the back signature in. So it's looking pretty full now. So we've just got this front signature to do. So look, that's the top of it now. Yeah. Woo! Those pages will loosen up as we work through it, putting the rest of the ephemera in. Right, so just pop book to that side while we get this back out. Stab the holes, yeah, in the front signature. So back with our template. I've already made sure the bag's in the right place. So, and do you know what? I always start with centre signature and then I work towards the back normally, and then I'll work towards the front, so that the front signature is my last one, because the theory is you've had lots of practice then, haven't you? And yeah, every time you get to your front signature you've improved. But do you know what? Those signatures I did while I were off camera were a blinking nightmare. I'm not joking. I don't know what I was doing. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that bloke turned up to service boiler and then kids came home from school, so maybe my mojo had gone a little bit scatty, but I still did them. They're done. But yeah, they took ages and they weren't the easiest, but they all came right in end. So I'm due a nice easy signature. I've threaded my thread ready, my needle. So here goes the last one. Let's try and make an easy one. Also, it's now got later in the day and I'm only just managing to see them holes. Ooh. So I'm not even going to thread that, because I tried that with one of others, and when all my pages wonking, then I couldn't, I just couldn't do anything. I'm going to hold that. Now look, I tell you, it's all going awry. So going through the top, can I see the hole? Yes I can. So I'm going to have to twist that now. Let's see if it's going to pop through the signature in one, like neither of the last two did. Is it? Is it heck? Is it heck? Told you, it's all gonna rye. I don't know why. I knew that last one I did on camera when it went through perfectly first time was not normal. It was just too easy, wasn't it? So we're going through one at a time again. Not a problem. Just takes forever. Am I even doing it on camera? No, you can't even see what I'm doing. It would help if I were on camera. YouTube videos 101. Do what you're doing on camera. Yeah. Otherwise, you might as well be doing a radio show. There we go. I'm taking that off because it keeps getting caught on my other pages. You know, now we've got more signatures in and I'm not liking it. I'm just not liking it. Let's pull that through. Why will that not come through? What on earth is occurring here today? There we go. I've got a kink in my thread. That's better. Can't even see where that hole is. There it is. So hopefully you're going to go through easy. Yes, you did. There's the bottom hole. And then it's for the tricky one. The tricksy one where we've got to go back in through that same hole. Let's tighten everything else up first. Then we've more chance of it working first time. You know you want to, but you're not going to. Let's get through the book spine first. Find that centre and go on. You know you want to go through that signature perfectly in one go, without going through the thread, without causing me any problems. But you're not going to. Tighten things up. It don't want to do it. It doesn't want to do it. No, I'm not having good luck with these now. So let's go through a few at a time. I do think part of the problem is the fact that I really can't see very well anymore. Fiddly things need to be done much earlier in the day. There we go, we've done it. And it is the wrong side of the thread, but I'll soon remedy that by passing my needle under. There we go. I've got the thread much longer at one side than other, so I'm just going to sort that out by pulling that a bit and I'm going to follow the thread round. Pull it there, then there, then that short one. There we go. So a little tug both ways. Check with no loops. Looking good. I'll tie and do my bow. Right, put it right way around for the finale. So we've now got all 5 signatures in. So it'll be time, there's just a couple more pages left to decorate. Needs filling with ephemera, which is not a huge job because, as I've said, quite often there's a lot of playing cards and postcards going in that just don't need anything done with them. We could alter them for the sake of it, but I don't want to because they're so beautiful as it is. They are Alice in Wonderland postcards. So there we have it. The journal is now bound with all 5 signatures in, and I'm so glad I did take some pages out. It's a bit springy when it's like that, but as you can see, it's fine like that, and we have got room to fill it. And the type of closure I'm intending doing, I have ordered some antique paper clips, antique bronze. I want to do this type of closure where we clip a paper clip there, and we clip one there, and we have a chain between with some danglies on. And I also want to do a big, put lots of dangles down there hung on a paper clip. So yeah, just waiting for those to arrive for that, but we're all bound now. You will get the odd 1 or 2 Alice videos, but yeah, I'm waiting for paper clips. And yeah, the bulk of it is done now. So when it's completely finished, I will do a flip through. And if there's anything in particular you want to know, if anyone's followed along and there's anything they want me to cover, just let me know. So I will link the policy envelope. Ooh, policy envelope. Yeah. I will show you me gluing that down. But I want to find the string first. And to be honest, I'm so tired now binding that in. I don't want to be doing anything else to it and mucking it up. I need a rest and I need to feed my children. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.